you're like most agents, one of the things that we all want more of is listings. So today I'm going to talk about expired listings because I still believe that they are one of the best ways to add value truly to a lot of homeowners that have been discouraged, and also, of course, to get more listings. Expired listings can feel kind of difficult, and usually things that you haven't had a lot of experience with are going to be difficult at first. You're going to feel nervous. You're not going to know, what to say. And so I hope that these tips today help you feel a little more comfortable, or at least comfortable enough to pick up the phone and get started. Once you get started, you're going to find that a lot of the people that you're calling are hearing the same things from most of the agents that are calling them, which means that the homeowner is going to decide literally within seconds whether or not they want to continue the conversation with you or hang up the phone. So if you want more appointments, you're going to have to figure out a way that feels professional and helpful, but also different than every other call that they're getting. I was actually making calls to expired listings with a couple of my team members the other day, and they actually set each of them a couple of appointments. I was listening to some of their calls, and one of them was speaking with a homeowner whose listing had expired after several months on the market, and he had already received multiple calls that morning from other agents, and he was sounding really tired and frustrated with the whole thing. And instead of just jumping into the pitch, she focused on understanding what his previous experience had been like. She was asking great questions, and I think that she really helped him realize that she actually did care about his perspective, and the conversation completely shifted. He began sharing what frustrated him and what he wished had gone differently and what he hoped would happen next. And that conversation led her to scheduling an appointment to go see the property and meet with him to talk more about his goals. The key here was not a persuasive script or a sales pitch. It was actually the simple commitment to approach the homeowner with professionalism and empathy. I said to her when she got off the phone, "You sounded so genuine." And she went like this, "It's because I am. I really want to help him." And so if you have that mindset when you're calling, that's what's going to come through the phone. If this is just another transaction to you and you're not really thinking about the human on the other end of the call, you're going to sound just like everybody else. So that's my number one tip, is just lead with empathy and an awareness that this is a human being. They put their property on the market with all the hopes to sell. That's very vulnerable, right? You're putting your home out there to everyone to see, and it's being rejected. And oftentimes they don't have clarity as to why, and it can feel really defeating. It's a very emotional process for them. And so they need someone that's going to invest the time to really understand their situation and help them see that there's another option and another path forward. The other way that you can really differentiate yourself is by focusing on solutions that are specific to their situation instead of just like trying to get another sale. Most agents that call the expired listings, they have the same message, right? The sellers hear the repetition. And what you can do is focus on a perspective that they may not have considered. This might involve exploring alternative strategies, maybe even rethinking the whole idea of selling. Does it still actually make sense for them? And rethinking the home's positioning or evaluating whether the previous market approach matched the current buyer behavior. When you demonstrate that you're thinking about the homeowner's goals rather than your own agenda, you show that you are prepared to operate as a problem solver. I don't know about you, I want to be with a problem solver if I'm selling my house, right? This really creates trust and sets you apart from the sea of scripted callers who only care about one thing, and that's getting another listing. I think the last most important thing to remember is that most people are probably going to say no the first time you ask them for an appointment. You have to remember, this isn't personal. It's not because of you. It's usually because they're feeling discouraged. So you're going to have to ask them probably more times than you're comfortable with. So I always say, I like to have like 3 to 6 pennies or paper clips on one side that I can pass over onto the other side of me, like every time I ask, because sometimes when you ask more than one time, you start feeling like you've asked like 20 times and it's really only been 2. And in sales, they say that the close happens really on the 3rd to 6th ask. So it's kind of like that idea of when you go shopping and you're looking for like a pair of black boots, and the sales associate comes up to you and they're like, "Can I help you find anything?" And they're like, "No." You're like, "No, I'm just looking." You know, we all do that, even though you might have been looking for something actually very specific. It's kind of this knee-jerk just reaction that people have to say no. So you're just going to have to find a way to continue to ask really great questions and build rapport, and ask again. Ask at least 3 times. And I know that you're going to set way more appointments than if you just take the first no and move on. Remember, these are human beings. They've had a frustrating experience, and you're there to help them solve a problem and add value and walk them through their options. I hope this helps you feel a little more inspired to call expired listings. I promise they don't bite, and no one's gonna die from making a phone call. So try it out. And if you do, I'd love to hear your experience, and I'm happy to help answer any questions or coach you on this. So let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Jacqueline Smith with Evergreen Real Estate Partners.